there was a period when my life was truly a mess. From the outside, everything looked normal. I was young. My health was fine. But deep down, I was falling apart. But the truth is, my life was not under my control. I was sleeping late. I was waking up late. I was wasting the money I earned right away. My mind was always somewhere else. I would start something and then quit immediately just because it was not working out. I would set goals, then make excuses by saying, I probably could not do it anyway. Every day I thought things would get better, but nothing was getting better. And the painful but real truth was this. The problem was not luck. The problem was not people. The problem was not even the economy. The problem was me. The problem was exactly me. More precisely, it was my unplanned way of living. Most people fool themselves here. They say, if I were just a little more motivated, I would get better. No. Motivation is a spark. A system is what keeps the fire burning. What put my life in order was not a sudden burst of inspiration. It was not waking up one morning, looking in the mirror, and saying, I am changing now, either. What put my life in order was a simple but harsh system I built. It took me time to learn this, but once I learned it, I understood this. A messy life is the result of messy decisions. Messy decisions are the result of messy days. And messy days begin with unplanned mornings. For me, that was the most important moment. One morning, I woke up late again. I picked up my phone. I thought I would only look for a few minutes. Then I looked again, and nearly an hour had passed. I had already started wasting time before I had even fully woken up. Then I got up in a rush. My room was messy. My desk was messy too. My mind was messy. My wallet was empty. My mind was even emptier. And that day, for the first time, I was honest with myself. I was not lazy, but I was disorganized. I was not a bad person, but I was out of control. I was not born a failure, but I was living in such a careless way. If a person lives in such a messy way, his life also falls apart randomly. That day, I made a decision. I was going to live my life not according to my feelings, but according to a system. The first thing I built was a morning system. Because the man who loses his morning loses his day. And the man who loses his day slowly loses himself and his life. I started waking up early. But I did not do this to show off on social media. I did not do it to feel superior to other people either. I did it because I realized this. Before the world starts, a person needs a time when he can gather himself together. The silence of the morning became the first place where I started putting my life back together. When I woke up in the morning, the first thing I did was no longer checking my phone. The first thing I did was think, what am I going to do today? What am I going to fix today? What am I not going to repeat today? Then I built the second system, the money system, because people usually do not start drowning because they are broke, but because they do not control their money. I was the same. I was making money. But the money was not staying with me. I did not fully know where it was going. I was ignoring small expenses. Then I started feeling stressed before I could even make it to the end of the month. The painful truth is this: a man who cannot manage his money cannot fully manage his life either. Because money is not just money. It is discipline. It is priority. It is a way of making decisions. That is why I started controlling my spending. I started seeing the money that was slipping away. For the first time, I realized where what I earned was actually going. The third system was the body system. I understood this late too. A weak body often produces weak energy. When a person lets himself go physically, his mind starts following it too. I did not become a professional athlete. I did not chase a perfect body either. But I stopped neglecting my body. I walked. I trained. I started standing more properly. I tried to sleep better. And I realized this: When a person gets his body back in order, he starts trusting himself again. The fourth system was the attention system. This is the most important and the sneakiest part. Because most people do not ruin their lives with big mistakes, but with small attention leaks. Phone, constant screen time, constantly saying, once this is over, I'll start like this. Constant procrastination. Constantly lying to yourself by saying, I'll start in a little while. The painful but real truth is this. A person who lives on cheap dopamine cannot build a big life. I had to take my attention back too. At certain hours, I kept my phone away. I reduced watching reels. I started noticing the things that were distracting my mind. Because a man who cannot protect his attention cannot protect his goal either. The fifth and final system was the night shutdown system. Most people finish the day, but they do not close the day. They go to bed, but their mind stays open. They do not think about what they did. They do not see what they did wrong. They move into the next day with the same confusion. At night, I started giving myself a short account. What did I do right today? Where did I go wrong? What am I going to start fixing tomorrow? This may look like a small thing, but the things that put life back together are usually in small moves with big impact. Now when I look back, I say this clearly. My life did not get better all at once. I did not wake up one morning and become someone else, but as I repeated the same system every day, the mess started leaving me. First my mornings got better, then my days got better, then my decisions got better. Then I started spending my money better. Then my body became more alive and stronger. Then my mind became clearer. And most importantly, I regained my self-confidence. Because self-confidence does not come from looking in the mirror and fooling yourself. Self-confidence comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself. If your life is messy right now, know this. You are not broken. You are just living without a system. And without building a system, life does not come together. This may sound painful, but the truth is this. No one is coming to save you. There will not be a miracle one morning. Nothing will change by waiting for the right time. If you want to put your life in order, first, you will put your day in order. If you want to put your day in order, first you will put your morning in order. If you want to put your morning in order, first you will put your decisions in order. When you enter this cycle, you will start seeing the changes in your life over time. That was what changed my life. Not being perfect. Repeating. Not getting hyped up. Building a system. Not feeling very strong for one day. Continuing even on the days when I felt weak. In short, what put my messy life back together was not motivation. It was order. It was discipline. And it was this harsh sentence I told myself. This life cannot go on like this. If you really want to get your life together too, you do not need to start big. But you need to start clearly. Small starts, and then growing the avalanche is what matters. Build a morning system. Track your money. Do not neglect your body. Protect your attention. Close your night properly. Do this not for a few days, but truly repeat it. Because the thing that changes your life is not big speeches. It is the right things repeated every single day.